Looky, looky. Let's go to reverse. Oh, 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 what do we have there? Uh-oh, park. Reverse. Oh, oh. Dual USBs. On the third row. Oh, what do we have here? What? Another one? So, unfortunately, I got exactly 0 video of me actually recovering these seats. I ordered the seat covers from lseat.com, and I went ahead and ordered the hog ring pliers and hog rings from them as well. And I'm telling you, there wasn't much to it. These black plastic pieces slip off the metal, and then you just fold the seat covers back, and then you cut the hog rings that are on there, and you just pull it off. Wasn't a whole lot to it. There was a little bit of struggle getting them on, but it came out really good. This is the mounting plate here, gluing the old carpet on. So I wanted to keep those covered and keep them carpeted, and then I had some extra kill mat, so I just kind of threw a couple of spots of kill mat on each one just to make sure they didn't rattle. And there it is with the carpet on it and the captain's chairs mounted to it. And then that's how I carried it out to the truck and installed it. All right, I want to give a summary of what was done on the interior now that it's all wrapped up. So obviously, new seat covers all the way around. I was a little worried the black may not go good with the gray, but I think it came out just fine. So new seat covers, had to paint these plastics. New switches as well. The switches were kind of, hit or miss if they worked or not previously. My wife would jump in and drive, and seat would be way forward, and then I would get in and couldn't move the seat back. I couldn't even get my knees underneath the steering wheel. So all that's working now, working great. All the door panels have been kill matted and foamed, every single one of them. All new switches, all new speakers. I put the Xfinity 6x9s in all 6 locations. Still waiting on a head unit. Should be in here shortly. Originally, I put these USBs, replaced the ones that were in the normal cigarette lighters. Unfortunately, these have an LED light that stays on non-stop. Don't really like that. So I found these, and I have them installed in the back. I'll show you. You can actually turn the power on and off to them. So I'm going to replace this one with a different one. And then this, I'm actually going to replace with just a dual USB that's going to plug into the new head unit when that comes in. I've got 8-pillar gauges that I'm working on in the shop right now, so those will get put in. The carpet is all new throughout the entire truck. Let's go to the back here. And as I step around, I replaced all the door handles, brand new door handles. Striker plates are new, and they have this rubber dampener on them. You probably saw that in some of the video clips. It really helps shutting the door, keep it from rattling. So the biggest change back here is these captain's chairs. These are out of a late model Expedition. Don't quote me on the year. I think 2015 to 17 or something like that. Got these off of eBay. So what I had to do was build adapters. Now this is the old carpet out of the truck originally, so that's why it doesn't quite match. It looks a little dingy, but basically just went and got some steel, built a plate that ties in to the original mounting bolts for the original bench seat that was back here. So these tie in to the 4 original mounting holes, and then the seat bolts to that plate. So the seat's bolted to that plate, and then in the back there is a rod. Let me come around to the other side and get a better view of that. All right, this will be easier to show you. So the seats function, fold down, and then you can make them kind of collapse by pulling this, or you can lift this up and then they'll release and flip forward. So I haven't done anything with inserts here, but this is the rod that runs through to the other side, and that's what captures these hooks. So those are captured. I covered all this with carpet, and then you can see I have carpet pad underneath here as well. So if you just bolted this straight to the steel, there's actually a pretty good gap between where this is and where the steel is, so you'd have a gap. So with the foam underneath there, it kind of fills up that gap, or the carpet pad. So it works great. It functions great. It looks good. It looks almost factory. And there's the other side with all the brand new carpet in the middle. So all the holes that were in the bottom for the bench seat, I plugged with just some Allen head screws and threaded them in, so all the holes are filled that aren't used anymore. I'll go ahead and step back to the back. So in addition to the speakers, I installed these. These are the different USBs. I have kids, so the kids always need power for everything. So these are the ones that I was talking about, you can turn on and off. And all I did for this one was I tied in to where the cigarette lighter is right there. So I tied into that power, you know, cut a hole there, put it there. And on this side, I did the same thing. I mounted one here. So there's dual USBs on this side as well. And powered on. And for this one, I actually tied into the power of the cigarette lighter adapter that's back there. So it's tied into that and ran the wires up here. Again, back row bench, recovered that in black as well. And then also replaced this cigarette lighter with the same USB type that you can turn on and off. And stepping around to the back here, obviously the spare tire, all the carpet is now brand new. I still have to bolt these into the holes underneath there. But one thing you can't see is all this paneling on the side was pulled off of both sides. The entire side wall was kill matted and then foamed for sound insulation. It was really, really easy to do everything on this side. This side was a lot more difficult due to the rear AC that is mounted. So I got as much as I could without pulling the rear AC out. In addition, pulled the headliner. The entire roof of the truck has been done with the kill mat as well for sound insulation. And all of these lights, of course it's not going to flip on for me. All these lights are LEDs now versus the standard one. So replaced all the roof mounted lights with LEDs, and all the door panel lights as well are all LEDs now. So I wanted to show what I actually used. So I used kill mat. It was about half the cost of the Dynamat. From the reviews I've read, it seemed to work just as good. I think this stuff was around $50 a box, and the Dynamat was, you know, probably close to double that. So we'll see how it works. I don't know yet. I don't have any first-hand experience. Then on top of the kill mat, I used this foam. It's got a sticky back. So the kill mat went in, the foam went on. So that's how it is inside. All the door panels, all these side walls is all done like that. Underneath the carpet, the whole floor is just done with the kill mat with carpet pad on top of it. And I bought an upgraded carpet pad, except for the front. the front area, I actually used the Dynapad carpet pad. So I used, underneath the carpet up front, I used the Dynapad carpet pad, which was extremely expensive, but I wanted the best sound deadening as possible for the front. So basically from right behind the rear seats forward up the firewall as best I could get it is the Dynapad carpet pad, which is about $120 a roll, and the rolls are like 3 foot by 6 foot. So I've got 2 rows of that Dynapad carpet pad in here, and then the carpet on top of that. All right, I got in the 10.2 inch double din Dasaita, I guess is how you say it. Just Googling around, this thing had really good reviews. And I wanted something, obviously, that I can run Apple CarPlay and have Bluetooth. You know, the Excursion was old school, didn't have Bluetooth, and talking on the cell phone at 70 miles an hour down the interstate was almost impossible. So hopefully with the sound deadening and all that work, we can actually hear to make a phone call and all that kind of stuff. We spend a lot of time on the road. So I've already opened this up, but you can see it comes with a bunch of connectors, and I am definitely not a install guy, stereo installer, so I'm about to try to figure this stuff out. So manuals, and let's see here if I can get this thing out. All right, here it is. Kind of pulled out of the box. You can see the screen on this thing is massive. It pivots and rotates. I'll go slide it in the Excursion so you can get a look at what it looks like installed. So it doesn't quite fit. It hits on these right here and a little bit on the top there. The sides appear to be good. So I had to break out the Dremel and kind of clean up some of that plastic, and then the radio slid right in without a problem. So the next step was the wiring. So this plug on the left, I had to order from Amazon. So it's a pigtail that connects to the factory Ford plug, and then it has the wires pigtailed off of that, and then I just matched them up with the wires from the wiring diagram and wire nutted them together. This is the Ford factory wiring diagram that I used to match up with the wiring diagram from the Dasaita radio. Once I had it all wire nutted together, I plugged it in and did a little function check to make sure everything worked, and it worked. So pulled it out, undid one wire nut at a time, and soldered all the wires together. And the orange wire you see laying out there is for the backup camera. Looky, looky. Let's go to reverse. Oh, 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 what do we have there? Uh-oh, park. Reverse. Oh, oh. Now that everything is wired in, soldered, and working, well, you can button all this stuff up and get that radio installed finally for good. All right, guys, step through kind of the function of this thing. Don't mind this. This is the microphone for it. So you kick it on and it's got Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay. So it doesn't have to be wired. As you can see, I'm using my phone to film, but yet I've got Apple CarPlay here going. So pretty slick. Definitely like it. Seems really user friendly and quick to use. I mean, it's just everything seems really smooth. Even got YouTube on here. You can stream it from your phone, or you can hotspot it. That's pretty slick. top of everything else, just want to show you guys what else has been coming in. Got my A-pillar gauges, got the pyrometer gauge, exhaust gas temperature gauge, the trans temp, and then the boost gauge was on back order. It finally came in, so now I can tidy up the rest of that, get that installed. I also got the Z36 power stop brake kit, front and rear, with calipers, rotors, and then the pads. So we'll have all new brakes all the way around, to include new calipers, or reconditioned calipers anyway. And then I got the KLM Performance stainless steel lines. I'm gonna replace all the rubber lines under the truck that are 18 years old. These, I'll tell you what, these KLM Performance lines, they took probably over a month from the time I ordered them until they came in, but they look phenomenal. They look like really, really high quality pieces of work here. Super happy with the way those came out. And then I also ordered the upgraded mirrors. My mirrors were starting to fade and look pretty bad, so I got the smoke lenses on the end. So we'll see how these mount up. All right, guys, slow and easy. Transmission's coming out. All right, guys. Stay tuned for Excursion build part 4. We'll get the transfer case and transmission out of here, and maybe even install the lift pump.